was a truly fabulous episode with adventure and humor and danger and
Mm-hmm.
surprise twists and betrayal. A lot was packed into that episode. And some people said, even on my Patreon, people were like, well, this was fine. The episode was good, but it was a little bit of a filler. I don't think it was a filler. I think this was a very important episode for really showing the kids. And spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the show. So, really showing the kids having to survive independently when they no longer have Jod with them, at least in this episode, to help them. Whatever his agenda was, he was helping them. And now they're kids, just like they were in the sort of first and second episodes. We're now seeing them alone without adult supervision, and we actually get to know one of the more mysterious characters that we didn't know much about was KB, the girl with the prosthetics, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and the girl is now really she's shown as an actress in this episode.
Mm.
All about sort of her insecurities and her fears, and you learn a lot of things about her we didn't understand, why she has this prosthetic. She's been injured, and it's actually life threatening if those prosthetics aren't. It's sort of like Vader. The
Mm.
prosthetics aren't working, she's gonna die, right? And that's, in some ways, what's fascinating here is, look, without any lecturing or any nonsense, they're talking about disabled people, physically challenged people, right? And
A little bit, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it wasn't like I understand. I never watched Star Trek Discovery, but I understand they had the dude in the wheelchair or whatever. I was like, I mean, look, they had Geordie LaForge, I mean, he had electronics that could help you. Tell me they couldn't in the 24th century. They didn't have nobody who can help this dude out of the wheelchair with with technology at that time. So they were just making a comment. But here's somebody who's got a life threatening injury and is being helped by these prosthetics, right? And then the prosthetics don't work, or they stop working, and then
Well, her maintenance,
her
right?
meat, yeah,
She needs constant maintenance every couple of days.
yeah.
Correct.
And that's something that's been a ticking time bomb. I mean, think about it. She knows that. Maybe the others, maybe Fern, her best friend, didn't realize that.
Well, we don't realize it
Yeah,
either. As
yeah,
a that to me is was like such a great reveal. We're like,
mhm,
all right, well, why does she have this stuff on her? What's going on?
yeah,
And I was just I was hit in the gut with that moment, bro. It's one of the best
yeah.
Disney Star Wars moments, period.
It was
And I
very
don't
moving.
say this lightly. I do
Yeah.
not say this lightly. But go on.
Yeah, and so that was the heart of it for me, is the character stuff with the kids. And each episode has kind of allowed us to get we now know all the kids a little bit more than we did, right? We know Fern, and again, she ain't no Mary Sue. She's she ain't no girl boss. She's in over her head. We've seen her dealing with her insecurities of being in over her head, right? and
Hmm.
and sort of having foisted herself as the leader of these kids and not really knowing what she's doing. We've got to see Wim, who has been sort of the fun adventurer, the happy-go-lucky guy, discovering he just misses his father and wants to go home, right? And is scared. We got to see our little elephant friend there, right? And he get to see that he is actually someone with a lot of spiritual depth, and he's not just like the whiny kid. I want to go back home. He's actually really helping them keep their wits together and their
Hmm.
morals together. And now we get to see KB is someone who has all these personal problems that she's not sharing with anybody, right? And now having to face life and death, she does, and we really care for her, and we can. She's trying to be a good friend, and
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
and we all have that. It's like sometimes we don't share our problems with our friends, but people can't help us if we don't. And I think these are all important lessons for any child watching. That each of those characters is an important lesson, right, for kids. And that's I just love the episode, and then the final sequence with the ship and the ship
Hmm.
escaping from literally the jaws of death in this remarkable way that they had properly set up. Like, this is
Yeah.
good screenwriting. It's a Chekhov's gun. In like episode 2, they mentioned that there's his button. Don't press his button,
Don't
right? Ever
press it.
press his button, because something's going to happen. And then they press his button, and that's what gets them out
Mhm.
of the situation. And it's really, I've never seen anything like it. And it was really well done.
I'm right with you, man. And again, there was no one more jaded in watching Disney Stars than me. I stopped watching The Acolyte. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take the. I know we disagree. I couldn't take Ahsoka seriously. I could as a whole. There was some good moments,
Mhm.
but no. And then the last season, Mandalorian. But you had said, listen, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna review it. Like this is and then all the changes and as far as your scoops, as far as your information. And uh, not only were you right in reporting that and with your intel, but I'm like, wow, these last two episodes just kind of just they grabbed some Star Wars magic back. Each character was rocking some business, from Wim to Jude Law. We haven't even talked about Jude Law yet because
Mhm. Yeah.
we're spotlighting KB.
Mhm.
And the title of this episode is called Zero Friends Again. It refers to her not having any friends before. I mean, these kids are wonderful, and they're kids, right? They're at times annoying, they're funny,
Mhm.
they're scared. I mean, there's none of these four kids are ever like bosses in a sense. They're children, and uh, I'm really caring for every character now. And
Yeah.
then Jude Law, man, well, he gives that speech where like he's going to be executed, right? He gives a pirate speech. How cool is that?
Yeah, and
That was
it was a great speech, and again, that's all he did in this episode. Is essentially, he gets caught and he gives this speech, right?
yeah.
And it's like a really moving thing. We're like, man, yeah,
Mm,
I want to, and you can see he's worming his way back to becoming the captain of these people. He's basically
mhm.
undermining this guy who overthrew him, right? And so I thought it was very fun writing to see him like that. See, that's what they capture about what pirates are. Pirates are essentially a democratic institution, a egalitarian institution. They always were. They were in the Caribbean, right? They, and if he can get the people on his side, this
Mm.
dude, the wolf guy who overthrew him, that dude ain't going to be around much longer if he can get the crew on his side, and that's what he's doing.
That's what he did. That's what he did. And again, Jude Law's flexing, right? With his character. He's charming. He's funny. He's totally cutthroat, and you buy it. And then you buy that he what he does to the kids in regards to you know taking over the ship. I love the character, and then this episode. What an adventure, man! What an adventure! And then we get to see X-wings. Of course, it's a little sugar on top, but I'm telling you, the adventure of these kids, and then getting back to the ship. Uh, Rated so these last two episodes are rated very high, and I'm with it, Cameron. I'm totally with it, man.
This is the first thing we've seen Star Wars where the people don't know how to fly ships, right? And they don't know how to use the weapons, whatever, because they're kids. And that's the fun of that's the
Yeah,
fantasy of it is that we all want to, and they show it from the very
yeah.
opening scene of the show. The fantasies of we all want to play with lightsabers, we all want to have adventures, and but then you're actually in that situation. We don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know how to fly these ships as an adult, right? What happens when these kids have to? That's why the ending of this episode is so great because the kids, without
Yeah.
anybody's help, without the robots' help,
Or
without
Jude
the
Law.
robots' help, have to get out of this horrifying situation where they're all going to die, and they have to learn to pilot the ship, and they they don't know what they're doing, and they figure it out, and that's the fun of it.
I'm enjoying myself, and that's all that matters. That's all I care about, And if you're not enjoying yourself, that's fine. That's your movie. That's your watching taste. Now we're what 6 out of the 8. This is to me. This is the most successful season of Star Wars television. I think Andor's its own thing, but each episode seemed to get better than the next, and the last two episodes were just knockouts. Oh, and did we mention who directed the episode?
Yeah, it's Bryce Dallas Howard who is
Wow.
showing herself to be a really, really good director, right? And we've seen her already in Star Wars. She's done some great action stuff. This episode, she shows that she really knows how to get emotion and character stuff, which is what this needed, right? There is action. There's action throughout
Beautifully
all of
said.
it. There's
Yeah.
there's there's danger and threat throughout the thing. There's this really great alien crab creature, and then this like monstrous thing that's trying to devour the ship, like the this sort of, I guess it's like a recycler of some kind, right? Giant recycler. And there's danger throughout the episode, but it's really an emotional episode. And I think her legacy will she'll be a great director. I think that her acting may not be the biggest thing in her career.
Mm,
Like Argyle, She didn't really get great reviews in that,
That's pretty bad. Mhm.
and I think if she focuses on her directing, she will quantum leap. But it's sort of like with Ben Affleck. Like Ben Affleck won't accept that he is a better director than he is an actor. Like he's a superb director.
And
If you
writer,
just
yeah,
focus, yeah, and right. If you just focus on
yeah.
that, he's going to have a lifelong honored career of awards and
Mm.
success. And if he's an actor, people are going to make fun of him.